Let's be real for a second. Interviews can be just plain stressful. I mean, you're trying to answer every question perfectly, prove you're the one, and all while trying to keep your cool. But what if it didn't have to feel that way? Today, we're going to break down a simple, actionable playbook to help you absolutely master any customer service interview.
Just imagine walking into that interview room, not with that knot of anxiety in your stomach, but with genuine confidence. Feeling like you have a powerful, structured, and memorable answer ready to go for whatever they throw at you. Well, that's exactly the feeling we're going to build today.
All right, here's our game plan. We've got it broken down into 4 key areas. First, we'll craft your professional story. Then, we'll talk about aligning with the company's mission. After that, it's all about proving your skills with cold, hard evidence. And finally, we'll tackle how to navigate those tricky questions that always seem to pop up.
Okay, first up, the big one. This question is so important because it really sets the tone for the entire interview. Your answer to "tell me about yourself" isn't just a boring summary of your resume, it's the opening act of your professional story. You gotta make it good. Now just listen to that opening. That is confidence. It's direct, it's packed with value, and it immediately tells the interviewer who you are and what you're all about. So what's the secret sauce here? What makes this such a perfect start? Well, the power of that answer is all in its structure. It follows this simple but honestly incredibly effective formula: present, past, and future. You kick things off with who you are right now, then you walk them through the key experiences that got you here, and you finish strong by connecting it all to why you're the perfect person for this specific job. And boom, here it is in action. See how it works? The answer starts in the present, immediately establishing credibility with skills and experience. Then it smoothly transitions to the past, showing a clear path of growth. And it lands squarely in the future, making a direct case for why they're a great match for the company. It's a beautiful, seamless story.
But a great story isn't just about words. This is absolutely crucial. Your story needs proof. Throughout the answer, this candidate drops in a key metric, a consistent 95% customer satisfaction rate. Numbers like that, they cut through all the noise and give concrete, undeniable evidence of your success.
So you've got your story down. What's next? Well, now we have to connect it to the company. See, it's not enough to just have a great story about yourself. You have to show them how your story fits perfectly into their story. This is how you prove you don't just want any job, you want this job.
When an interviewer asks, "What does customer service mean to you?" they're testing you. They're looking for way more than a dictionary definition. A really strong answer, like this one, defines the core idea but then immediately applies it to the company itself, showing you get what customer service means for them.
So how do you actually do that? You got to do your homework. You dig into their mission, let's say it's affordable clean energy, and then you explicitly connect your own values to it. You start using their language, talking about supporting their mission, and you draw a straight line from your past wins to their future goals.
Okay, this right here is where we get into the most powerful tool in your entire interview toolkit, especially for those "tell me about a time when" questions. This is how you stop just making claims about being great and start providing undeniable proof. It's called the STAR method, and it's a super simple framework for telling a great story about something you actually did. And here's a little secret. Interviewers love it. Why? Because it's clear, it's structured, and it gives them exactly what they're looking for: evidence. It stands for situation, task, action, and result.
So here's how it works. First, you set the situation, so they have some context. Then you state your task. What was your specific goal? Next, and this is the core of the story, you describe the specific actions you took. And finally, the most important part, you share the result. What was the positive, measurable outcome of what you did?
Okay, let's look at a real-world example. Say they ask, "How would you handle a difficult customer?" This answer here is a great story on its own, but let's see how our STAR framework just makes it so much more powerful.
All right, let's put this story under the microscope. We're going to apply our STAR framework and see exactly what makes it tick.
Look how perfectly it fits. The situation? An upset customer with real problems. The task? Fix it and keep them happy. The action? A clear step-by-step process. Listen, escalate, follow up. And the result? The issue is fixed and the customer didn't leave. That is a complete, compelling mini story.
And this is what makes that result a knockout punch. It's not just a vague, "the customer was happy." It's a quantifiable business outcome. This approach actually led to a 20% drop in repeat calls. Trust me, that's a number that gets hiring managers very interested.
And finally, let's talk about those questions everyone dreads, right? The ones designed to trip you up about your weaknesses, your salary, gaps in your resume. These aren't traps, folks. They're actually opportunities for you to show self-awareness, strategy, and confidence. Just look at the difference here. The generic answer, "I'm a perfectionist," is a total cliché. Hiring managers have heard it a million times. But the strategic answer, so much better. It names a real weakness, overcommitting, but it immediately shows a concrete plan for how you're working on it. That demonstrates real maturity.
And you can apply this same smart thinking to other curveballs. That employment gap, that was a period of upskilling. Salary expectations, you're open because the real focus is on the value you bring. And even if they ask you a weird one like what animal you'd be, it's just another chance to highlight your best traits, like a dolphin's awesome teamwork.
So, let's bring it all home. We've covered a ton of ground, but it really all boils down to this simple, repeatable, 4-part playbook for totally rocking your next interview.
Here's the winning formula. 1. Craft your story using that present, past, future model. 2. Align your mission by doing your research and connecting your values to theirs. 3. Prove everything with hard evidence, using the STAR method. And 4. Navigate those tricky questions with a smart strategy.
And remember this, an interview isn't some test where you're just sitting there waiting for the next question. It's a professional conversation. And with this playbook, you now have all the tools, the structure, and the strategy you need to not just participate in that conversation, but to lead it.